everyone, it's Kelsey here, and today I'm starting with the new book-related themes on the channel. So, like I said before, I'm not doing away with the rest of my content. I'm just adding content onto my channel. So today I just wanted to start by talking a little bit about ebooks versus physical books and how I feel about both of them. So I've got a list here so I don't forget any of my points. So if you see me look down, I'm just reading. So let me start out by saying I did not want to get an e-reader at first. I thought it was a stupid idea. I hated it. Books are meant to go in your hands. That was my philosophy. Philosophy. So, but for my 20th birthday, my husband actually way overspent. He got a brand new Sony e-reader. It was cutting edge technology at the time, and it was one of the first e-readers that was coming out. And I actually found myself enjoying it a little bit more. But that wasn't the best e-reader. I didn't like the setup. I dropped it once and it got all these little speckles. So anyway, technology has vastly improved. I've actually gone through 2 devices since then. And each one improves, and I've honed in on the style that I really like in e-readers. That being said, I still have a really hard time deciding whether I want e-reading to, if I want to switch over completely to the digital format, or if I want to stay with the physical books. I love them. They're pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through the pros and cons in my mind and just kind of talk about it. So, first off, I have an iPad mini. That's what I use as my e-reader. I know this is technically not just an e-reader. It's a regular tablet, which is handy because whenever we travel, we don't have to take a laptop, which is a lot heavier, and it's bigger than our phones. So we've got a tablet that we can access the internet and play games on and da-da-da-da-da. So I really like this. It fits in my hand, even, one-handed. I have fairly small hands, so that's really nice about it. And even though I do typically use it with 2 hands. So as you can see, a book popped right up. The other thing I really like about the iPad is because it's not a Nook. I don't have to have Nook books. It's not a Kindle. I don't have to have Kindle books. And there's pros and cons about each book app that I like, but maybe I'll go into that into a different video. But so yeah, plenty of choices on my iPad, including the fact that I can check out books from my e-library. So, like I said, I will talk about that in a different video. So I really like my iPad mini. I forgot to call it a mini because to me it's just my iPad. It's thin, it's light, I love it. And that's one of the main points that I like about it, is that it's light, it's very portable. I can stick it in my purse, it fits perfectly, I can take it out. It's, I don't want to say discreet, but yeah, I can pull it out and it's not like this big chunky book. It doesn't have a risque cover that you might not want to read in a certain place, or whatnot. Whereas, okay, this, Miss of Avalon, excellent book. It's huge. It's 900, yeah, pretty close to 900 pages. This is much less portable. It's also something that, not only is it heavier in my purse, but it's heavy to read at night if you're looking through it. Or especially a hardback book, they're just heavier, they're bulkier. So yeah, that's kind of a downer about physical books. But at the same time, I love the feel of a physical book in my hand. I like to hear it crinkle. I don't like the smell of books. I'm not one of those people, but I just love the feel of the pages. I like that you can write in them. I don't write in my books a ton, but I like that if I did, I could. And I can underline passages and write things in the margins. And I know technically most of the reader apps have notes that you can attach and put sticky notes. That is not the same thing to me as physically writing it down. I'm a very physical, tangible person. So that's one thing. The other thing, ebooks versus physical books. Yes, the covers are the same, but in a lot of books, when you go to buy them on the e-reader, it actually skips you right to the first page, which always bugs me because I want to see what's the title of or the table of contents look like. What does the title page look like? What are the not the acknowledgments, but the who is it dedicated to? And also, I just think, I mean, books have pretty covers. They do. I mean, people put a lot of time, money, and effort into making pretty covers for books nowadays. So it really, as much as I love the ebooks, you don't see the covers when you're reading them. You can't see it and like, okay, that person over there, they're reading such and such book. I can see the cover. I recognize it the next time I go to the bookstore. So yeah, there's that. I love the physical books. I love the covers. And I like to be able to recognize it, like I said. So yeah, that's one big thing about physical books that I like, is that you can see the covers. And another thing that kind of ties into that is the fact that I forget which ebooks that I'm reading. And I know you're like, how can you forget a book? Well, typically I read between 2 and 5 books at any given time, all at the same time. And I'm trying to actually back away from that. I used to read like 8 books at a time, and I'm getting older. My brain is not working as good. I literally don't have the memory that I used to. I will read a book, and 6 weeks later, I cannot remember like the finite details or the names even. A resonating feeling sticks with me. I loved that book. I hated that book. I liked it. It was okay. I have the feelings that stick with me, but I don't have like the specifics of the book, so it's very hard for me to talk about it weeks later with friends or whatnot. So I'm actually trying to get more in the habit of reading 1 or 2 books at a time, and I'm hoping that will help me with my memory as far as books go. So anyway, back to my original point, was that I feel like I forget books on the e-reader. Because they're not like stacked up next to my bed or on my kitchen table. And I don't see the covers and the spines. So I feel like I forget them. So that's a problem, a big problem. But one thing that I'm doing in 2015 that I have not done in the past, that I'm really hoping will help with that, is I set up a Goodreads challenge. And not only did I set it up, I'm sticking to it this year. I did set one up in 2014, but it fell by the wayside. So if you haven't been on the Goodreads app or on their website, you set your goal, and then you put into your stacks what you've read, what you want to read, and what you're currently reading. So when you're currently reading something, you're going in and updating, like, now I'm on page 200 instead of 50, and you know, now I'm finished with the book. So I'm hoping that as I use the Goodreads app, I will see the ebook that I was working on and say, hey, you need to go back and read that. You are really enjoying it. It literally does not matter how good the book is. I forget about it sometimes. So that's definitely a point that I'm hoping, like I said, will be rectified in 2015. The other thing is that, like I said, there's multiple apps. So even if I'm going to my e-reader, I'm like, was I reading one in the Kindle app or in the Nook app or from the e-library? So yeah, these all sound like small things, but if you're a big reader like I am, it's the little things that matter, and it's that way in any hobby or any life. It's really like the particulars in your life that matter. Okay, another thing about ebooks, they're cheaper. A lot cheaper, usually. I have noticed the price coming down in physical books, which is awesome. But yeah, they're cheaper. The ebook is cheaper. I hate to say it, even when I go to like Sam's Club and they have really good deals on books, the ebook is still usually cheaper. And not just by like 50 cents, because if it was 50 cents more, I would just pay for it. But literally like $1, or not $1, like $3 to like $10 or $15 if it's a new book. So that's a big difference. You can buy a lot more books with those savings. So you can buy a lot more ebooks. So sorry, my phone's going off. I should have muted it. Anyway, so yeah, the ebooks are cheaper. Also, another advantage of the ebooks, they're not actually taking up physical space. I've shown you guys, or I'm gonna show you guys, I made a video of my bookshelves. The place we're in now is a lot smaller than the place we were in 3 years ago. So my books took a hit. I actually got rid of a lot of books. I sold them or gave them away or donated them. I've got storage containers under my bed for books that I just can't quite part with yet, or like my children's books that I've purchased because they're such great deals, but we don't have a kid yet. But yeah, that's a bargain hunter problem. So anyway, I've literally got books everywhere in our house. My husband complains about it all the time. They're on my nightstand, they're on my end table, next to my spot on the couch, they're on my console table, my kitchen table, they're on the bookshelves. Literally, I can't afford to buy many more physical books because I don't physically have room for them. I love them, I think they're pretty, but as far as like actual storage limits go, I'm kind of reaching it. So I need to focus more on the books that I have and get them read and donate them out before I buy new books. But the problem is I do work at a library. I get a lot of good recommendations, and I've been taking way too many books home from the library. I just need to kind of cut myself off a little bit and focus on the books that I have at home because, like I said, I like to purchase books once in a while. I haven't been buying as many since I work at the library, and even before that, because libraries are getting so much better. They really are. My library is anyway, and the libraries that I have been to in the past couple of years, their selection is much better. I feel like they're really honing in, and maybe that's because there's like better selection from the publishing side, or maybe. Okay, so my video shut off, but I was just starting to say that I think Kindle, you can like lend your one book up to 2 weeks once, something like that. It wasn't the same as like actually being able to take a book off your shelf and give it to someone. And the other thing about physical books that kind of goes along with that is, especially since I work at a library, I feel like reading is a very community activity. I feel like bookstores and libraries are a place where you can go in and you can talk to people about books, you can look at covers, you can meet other people that have that interest, where if you're sitting at home on your tablet, you're not going to get that experience, which is a problem with the internet and technology as a whole. But I definitely love having a library. I love having a bookstore that I can go into and talk to people about books. On the other hand, flip side of that issue is that a lot of libraries are really tiny or have weird hours, or they just have crappy books, or they have crappy librarians. Same with the bookstores. I've been in multiple bookstores where, I mean, I know they don't get paid a lot. It's retail. They don't get paid a lot. They could be working at Starbucks or Target or wherever. I've been to so many bookstores where they don't care at all about the merchandise. They don't know who the authors are. I'm like, how do you not know who John Grisham is? Have you buried your head under a rock for the past 20 years? How do you not even know of him? That's a whole other subject. So yeah, on the flip side, like I said, bookstores and libraries don't always have people that love to read as much as you do. They don't know your genre. They don't know what books are coming out when or where they are. And like I said, they have weird hours. They're closed on Sundays or whatever, you know, libraries and bookstores talk about here. So that's one nice thing about ebooks is you can get them 24/7 as long as you have an internet connection. And so that's really nice, is that I can get a new book at 1 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't matter. I can just go buy it. If that's when I'm reading a sample, I can go buy it right then. So that's a huge advantage. The only other place where I can really do that at is Walmart, because they're open 24 hours a day. But Walmart has a very limited selection of books. So, and kind of like a counterpoint to that, or an add-on, I don't know, I don't have good grammar, or good vocabulary. Bookstores are not in every town. Most towns, well, I won't even say most, a lot of towns have libraries, even if they're very small. But the nearest bookstore to me is 45 minutes away. And it's a really crappy bookstore, to be honest. It focuses much more on videos and video rentals. And music and games and all sorts of this stuff that is not book related. And again, they have crappy selection. Their staff doesn't know what they're talking about. The nearest Barnes & Noble is like probably an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So yeah, I don't get to the bookstore very often because I don't have a need to go all the way to Kansas City to get books. I got them at Walmart, I get them on Amazon, or I get them on my e-reader. So yeah, you know, I love bookstores. I love the community of them. I wish I lived a lot closer. We used to live 20 minutes away from a Books A Million, and I was there all the time just to chat with people and hang out and see what the new releases were. So, yeah, I mean, definitely there's good points and bad points about where you can get your books and what time of day. So let me just look at my list and see if there's anything else that I've forgotten to go over, because I do feel like okay, the last thing that I will talk about is on my e-reader. I love it because you can read in the dark. You don't have to have a light. You don't have to have like the overhead on and your husband's telling you to go to sleep because it's 1 o'clock in the morning and he's tired. It is very it's like backlit or front lit, and it's like right on you. You know, like I said, you don't have to have like a book light. Those are awesome, but they're always awkward and they're always shifting and they're not bright enough or you can't see the whole page, whatever. I just like that I can read in the dark with my e-reader. But on the other hand, the other night I went and I really wanted to pick up a book where I had just left off. I thought, okay, you're not going to forget to read this ebook. You're going to go get it. And it was down to 10% battery. You know what? Mists of Avalon has never run out of battery on me, but I can't read it on the way home from St. Joe because it's dark. So, I mean, everything has pros and cons. Whenever I was actually making my list, I really thought I would lean more toward the physical books. And then as I was writing things down, I was like, wow, you're kind of leaning more towards digital books. And then finally, my list completely evened out. I still don't have a top favorite. As far as convenience goes, I do like the e-reader a little bit better. Like I said, cheaper, read in the dark, it's lighter, more portable. But, oh, and one other advantage is that you can have multiple books. So if I had to pack 4 books to go on vacation, my e-reader's got 100 books that I could take with me on vacation. Well, not 100, but, or I've at least got samples that I could read and say, yes, I want to purchase that while I'm out and about. But again, on the other hand, you can read a book at the beach. You probably don't want to read your e-reader on the beach or in the bathtub. So that's yet another point that kind of sways inside of the physical. Honestly, I don't have an answer for you if I would prefer digital or physical books. I have a feeling the way the market is going and the way things, like children are using more tablets in school and cutting down on the cost of textbooks, I have a feeling we're going to go to more digital books as time goes on. So it's a little bit inevitable. I doubt if I'll see the complete destruction of physical books within my lifetime, but it's always possible. I heard actually just the other day that physical book sales and publishing have actually gone up in the last 2 years, whereas they had been down for a while. I think probably when e-readers were first starting to come out, really. But yeah, I really love my e-reader. If there were a few changes to it, I would like it even more, but I just don't know how I'm going to remember all the books that I have on the apps. They're really good about organizing it, but it's just not quite there yet. Another kind of side note to that is I feel like I organize files all the time on my computer. I'm organizing videos and photos and doing work stuff on the computer. I feel like I'm on the computer all the time, and a physical book is a way for me to sit on the couch and just get away from the technology for a minute, which I really like to unplug once in a while. So I don't really feel like I want to organize the books on my digital bookshelves. I really feel like I just want to, when I sit down with my e-reader, I want to read. I don't want to be organizing the bookshelves. If I wanted to do that, I could get some exercise and reorganize my physical bookshelves like I did last night. So yeah, like I said, I don't have a clear-cut winner. Eventually I'll probably switch all to digital. Part of that is the pressure of my husband, because he is like a huge nerd. He's a gadget guy. He loves tech stuff. And so yeah, we will, as a household, we are switching more to digital stuff, including DVDs, because I refuse to buy any more DVDs because we can get them digitally. And we don't have space for more DVDs, so why can't I get that way about books? I think books just have a more homey feel for me. Like, books are deep within me. I've loved books ever since I was a little kid. It's just been like instilled in me. Books, books, books. So I have like a very emotional attachment to books that I don't have to DVDs. So yeah, that's probably part of it. But yeah, I'm just interested to hear what you guys have to think. Do you like ebooks better? Or do you like the physical books better? Do you have any great apps to tell me about? I've heard of Scribd and Oyster. I haven't subscribed to any of those yet. Maybe I will in the future. But maybe I'll do a separate video about that, just kind of talking about that. But anyway, just let me know what you think about ebooks, physical books. Do you like the new book formats that I'm talking about? Do you like the book reviews? Do you like hearing things like this that are book related? Let me know down in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys. I try to answer each and every one of you. Sometimes if you just say awesome, I just give you a little thumbs up. But if you ask me a question, I try my best to answer it within the next 24 to 48 hours. And yeah, I just love talking with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you can just give me a big thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing more book videos, cooking videos, well, not cooking videos, recipe reviews, or scrapbooking videos, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye.